Welcome to Let's Go Live with Gigi Meyer. How are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. Okay, so I have with me Tanya, Bookstagrammer. And do you know you're my very first Bookstagrammer?
What?
I know.
Yay.
Inaugural.
What? Nice.
I know.
Hopefully we'll start a trend. That's awesome.
I know. I'm happy. So I have like a whole fresh list of questions to ask you. So
Okay.
Starting off, tell everybody what your handle is, where they can find you, like what social media you hang out
on. So I'm mostly on Instagram. I created my Instagram account in October of last year, and my handle is at books_and_perfume. So books and perfume. And I do have a Facebook page, but it's mostly kind of like for family and friends, and I don't really do much over there except for talk crap with family.
Right.
So, but other than that, I have a TikTok, but I never post. I'm a lurker. So I don't go over there, but I watch other people's stuff. So it's basically Instagram.
I think we all lurk on TikTok, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, for hours. It's creepy.
That's the whole problem. It's so addictive.
It is. It really is.
Okay, so I have a question starting out. You do books and perfume reviews.
Yes.
That is so unique. So tell me about that. So I've lurked your page, and I love it.
Thank you. So this past year, I was pretty down in the dumps. I like mental health. I'm a big advocate for mental health, and as a way to really do some self-care for myself, I started reading again, and that is after a 15-year break of not reading.
Wow.
Yeah. I maybe read a book a year, maybe. And I was an avid reader as a kid, but life just happened. So I was like, you know what? I always loved reading. So let me join Goodreads. Let me join Instagram, make some friends. And then I was like, you know what? I haven't worn perfume in a long time either. Before COVID hit, I would wear like the same thing over and over. And I was like, maybe I could find a new signature scent. So then I started collecting samples because that's cheaper than buying full bottles. And now I have probably 1,500 samples.
You're kidding.
Yes.
Okay, do they send them to you?
So I have a friend that has a shop, and she did send me a good amount of samples, and I make sure to tag her in them, which was really awesome. And she has an Etsy shop that I just went and bought like $100 worth of stuff.
Share her shop. We can promote people. It's our show. We can do whatever we want.
Her shop, I think it's called Sensibly Frags. I'd have to look it up. I can probably post it later. But she's super nice, and she has, oh my gosh, great taste in perfume. I have loved every single thing she has recommended. But so at the beginning of the year, I was like, I'm just going to review a new perfume every single day, which I have. I'm up to 131 days. Brand new perfumes every day, and I review books. So
okay, one perfume a day is aggressive.
It is, and sometimes they're not the greatest perfumes, but some of them are, I'll rate low. But I don't know, the last month all of mine have been like 4 and 5 stars. They've been great. Like the one I'm wearing today,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, it smells so good. I'm like completely addicted to it. It's this little guy right here.
Okay,
It,
what's the name?
uh, Pierre Guillemot. I'm horrible with pronunciation, but it's un crime exotic. It's amazing. It has like it smells like cinnamon and vanilla and chai tea and gingerbread, and I mean it's so good. I'm a gourmand lover. Like I love the sweet edible perfumes,
Mm-hmm.
and I also like perfumes that smell like um incense.
Oh,
I don't know. Yeah, so when I first started this journey, I had very limited taste, but exploring all of these different perfumes, I've really come out of my shell in what I like. So,
yeah. Okay, so you're wearing one a day. Are you
Mhm.
doing a review a day also?
So
Oh, on the good
some
one.
days, well, I'll rate it whether it's good or bad, but I've just been lucky enough to buy a lot of really good samples from different houses. But yeah, like on days that I work from home, I'll spray one on this arm and one on this arm. So I'll do two reviews in a day. So that way I build up like on the weekends, I'll do two a day, and so I'll get a little bit of cushion there in case I don't feel like wearing one a day.
And they don't conflict, like having one on each side of your body?
Oh,
I
I've
mean,
had
your
some
nose is in the
scrubs.
middle.
Yeah, no, some of them they do, or they're very strong and sharp, and you're just like, oh, but you can always scrub them off after you hang in there for a couple hours to get a real idea what it's like.
And these don't give you a headache. Sometimes some perfumes, when you walk through the department store, you're like, woo, it can give you a headache.
I've been actually really lucky that I haven't come across one that has given me a headache. I also don't spray that much on me. Um, I used to hate walking behind somebody that had a lot of perfume on, and you're
Oh, yeah.
just like, but no, I'll spray probably
Especially
like four.
men.
Um,
Especially men.
yeah. So I buy a lot of unisex fragrances, and the ones that are just leaning a little masculine, I give to my boyfriend, and he's very happy because like he has his own little collection now going, and he's super excited when I don't like something because then he gets it.
Nice. So, of the 1,500 perfumes, how many have you bequeathed him?
Uh, let's see. There's probably like 20 in there. And there's some I did buy samples specifically for him too.
Yeah.
So those are great days for him. And whenever I put one on, he's like, "Ooh, let me get one." And he'll come in here and he'll spray it on. And he's like, "How do I smell?"
Okay,
So
that is so sweet, though, that he's supportive of
yeah,
you.
yeah. And I always smell good. Yeah. Even I got people at work, she's like a friend of mine, Susan, she'll come in the morning, she's like, "Let me smell you." And she'll just take a sniff and she's like, "Oh yeah."
If people didn't know you, they'd be like, why is she smelling her colleague?
It's an HR thing.
Right? That's an HR violation.
Yeah, a little awkward, a little too close, but yeah, no, I've known her for like 16 years, so yeah.
That's sweet. So you were saying that your journey to become a bookstagrammer was a result of your mental health. So I
Yes.
find that fascinating because you had said also that you had worn a lot more perfume, well, the same perfume before COVID. I don't know. I feel like COVID was a bad dystopian book for all of us. And so everyone craved to get back to normal, but we're all so drastically changed.
Yeah, COVID is hard for a lot of people. I think for me, it was just the routine that changed for me. As I'm a huge introvert. Like I
Yeah.
am scary introverted. So it was like almost like a Disneyland trip for me, other than I was terrified of getting sick. But I could work from home. I worked from home for like over a year, and I didn't have to go to anywhere.
Mhm.
Like I could do everything online.
You're like
So
paradise. What are you
it is.
talking about?
I mean, I was terrified of getting sick just like
Yeah.
everybody else, but I mean, I didn't have to see anybody. And like, my home is my sanctuary. This is where I find peace. So this is where I was all the time.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, I got very used to like sweatpants and like no bra. And yeah, when I had to wear a bra going back to work, it wasn't great.
It's liberating, right? You don't have to wear makeup. You're like,
Oh yeah.
like obviously showering every day is a requirement, but beyond that, you're like, I can dial in the bare minimum and nobody
Oh
will know.
yeah. I didn't wear makeup either for a year. Yeah.
We saved a lot of money on makeup, that's
Oh
for sure. Shoot.
oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, what took you to Bookstagrammer? You said it was October of last year. You hadn't read in 15 years. Why then? How did you know books was the thing to change your mental health or to kind of bring you out of whatever you were in?
Um, Books were always a way to escape
Mhm.
um
Yeah.
everything. You go on adventures. You um wrote I mean, I was reading a lot of horror when I was younger. I love Dean Koontz. I love Stephen King. Um, like in middle school, I was reading the Fear Street books. One of my first books in middle school was The Exorcist.
Oh my God.
So, like, yeah, I was a horror fan from the very beginning, and I kept on up into my early 20s, and then, it got lesser and lesser as life happens. Um, but when I decided to read again, I wanted something to get out of my head. I didn't, when you're depressed, you have a lot of negative talk in your head. And when I read, I see the story in my head. So it was a way to block out all the all the negativity and just escape in a book. And I never read romance, and now I have a bookshelf dedicated to romance and a bookshelf dedicated to dark romance. And I hope to be adding you to that. So um, I'm just, I don't know. I'm very happy, and I've joined a couple book clubs, and I did not have any physical copy of books. I had given all my books away. Um, I had nothing, and I didn't want to carry books around with me. But when I joined these two book clubs, we do Fairy Fridays, and usually you shop or you choose two or three people and do a wish list for them. And I was getting anywhere from 1 to 4 books a week from
Wow.
my book. Yeah. So I've gotten a nice little collection in the last 4 months, and I'm just really happy about it.
And that Fairy Friday is within your book clubs?
Hmm.
That is so
I
sweet.
know, yeah, I know a lot of people do like Wish List Wednesday and
Yes.
Fairy Friday, but as much as I would love to participate in there are so many scammers
Yeah.
that I've seen people get taken advantage of. So I just keep it to the the book club, and every once in a while, if I meet a friend, I will send them a book just because I like you.
So iPad Reader said, well, COVID transformed me into a hermit. Basically, the human version of a house plant now. I just sit in the same spot all day, absorbing sunlight and occasionally getting watered by my housemates. That
Yeah,
is so cute, but true, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so do you still read horror, or are you pretty much mostly romance?
So I have moved on from regular horror to splatterpunk, which is extreme horror.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about that.
Okay, so it is hardcore. You're talking about extremely violent, extremely gory. Um, I've met a lot of horror authors on Facebook. But one of my friends who's an author, his name is Justin Boot. He has written a few horror books, and I just did an arc for him, his book, Am I a Monster? And that one had extreme SA stuff in it,
Ooh,
and yeah, it's not for the faint of heart. You have to read your trigger warnings
oh yeah.
if you're sensitive to that stuff. But trigger warnings is like advertisement for me. I love it. I'm like, give me the trigger
You're
warnings
like,
because
the
that sells the
more
book.
trigger warnings, the more
Yes.
likely it's for me.
As long as it doesn't involve hurting an animal, I am down. Give me some trigger warnings.
Okay, so what
But
draws you to that? The duality between romance, dark romance.
I don't, it's so weird to go like 1 minute you're reading about peeling the skin off of a child, and then you're over here reading a warm, fuzzy, small town romance. I don't, it's like the duality of my personality. I don't, it's really weird, but I love it. And I can go from one to the other in like one sitting to the next. It's great.
Okay, what does your boyfriend think? Because you know how everybody always talks about how when women watch like Snapped, or when they watch those horror shows, and the men are kind of like, do I need to be worried?
He is like, what the hell are you reading? That stuff is like terrifying. But mostly he picks on me more because of the romance. Because I will be playing an audiobook out loud sitting in the living room. He'll be playing his game on his phone, and I'll be listening to a romance audiobook. And he's like, what porn is this? I was like, mind your business.
But you play it out in the open so he can hear it?
Yeah, I mean, it's quiet. I ask him if it's okay if I listen to my book, and he's like, yeah, whatever. And then he's like looking at me like, this is straight up porn. I'm like, it's romance.
You're like, it gives tips in the bedroom, okay? It's like an instructional
Right,
manual.
right. Don't tell him that.
Okay, you're cracking me up. He seems to be a really like laid back guy with the that really it has absorbed your world so easily.
Yeah, I mean, we see each other like all day long. I mean, you can't help but absorb something from each other. So,
So then
but yeah, he's cool.
you read these very diverse genres, but do you do reviews only on those, or are there like do you do multiple genres? It doesn't matter what the book is.
So lately I seem to stick towards romance, dark romance, splatterpunk. I want to get. I've just read Court of Thorns and Roses or whatever that
Yeah,
one, Akatar, the first
yeah.
book. I read that one. I just read Frost and Shadows. That was a fantasy
You,
book.
you've been to a lot of fantasy. Well, some fantasy, yeah, high fantasy.
Yeah, I've never. I mean, there was always Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a little intro, but I fantasy has like the best book covers, I don't know, they just suck you right in. And I was like, all these girls on TikTok and on like Instagram just eat fantasy up, and I'm like, what am I missing? So I would love to, get more, recs for stuff to try. And I really, really want to read more like mystery, suspense thrillers. I have a few back here that I haven't read yet, just because I get so many arcs that I need to read that take up most of my time. So actually tackling my own books, I don't have much time to do that.
Well, two things. Some of the fantasy authors now are turning to AI generated art. And wow, that is really taking it to another level. And I know there's lots of
It's
controversy between AI generated art, ownership rights, versus like lost a job with illustrators. But some of the artwork is stunning.
It
Stunning.
is. When you can make up your own world, you can create anything you want. I think it's amazing.
It is. So my second question though is, you had said that you're an ARC reader. And so do you do that for free? Is that paid? And then you have your pleasure reading, correct?
Yeah, so I used to take on so many arcs, and I still have a backlog of stuff that I have to finish, that I promised to read. And then I signed up for all of these books and book tours, and they all hit at the same time. And I just have so many books that I still have to read that I promised the authors that I would read. I will get to them. I have not forgotten about you. Hello, Meg. And I still want to read your book. I just haven't had a chance. And um, I'm reading almost 2 books a week, and I'm reading like 16 books total a month. That includes like the audiobooks I listen to while I'm at work.
Yeah.
So like all I do is read. So coming in July, I'm not taking on, I'm only taking on maybe 3 arcs, and then I'm going to tackle my own books and take some time off. But
That's what I was going to ask you, like, how do you balance that? How do you
hi,
balance,
Meg.
how do
That's
you,
Meg.
I know, I see her. Hey, Meg. How do you balance, reading for your platform and then reading for just fun, pleasure?
Um, I really burnout is real. Burnout is real because I'm a mood reader, and when I sign up for the books, I am definitely in a certain mood to read that book. But then when it comes along, like 3 or 4 weeks later, I'm like, I'm not in the mood to read that anymore. But I still have to force myself to read it because I made a commitment.
Right. No, I totally agree because I have 3 different books going, like one's self-help, one's fantasy, and one's romance.
Yeah, I definitely have. I'm reading A Thousand Boy Kisses. Well, that's my audiobook. And I have Ward D after that one. So I have 2 audiobooks lined up. And I'm reading um, River of Wrath on a book tour. And I'm also going to read That's the Way the Cookie Crumbles, which is a cozy mystery that I got as an ARC. So those are the ones that I have lined up for this weekend.
Oh my gosh. I thought you were going to say
Yeah.
like this month, and you're like, the next 3 days, ma'am.
Yeah, so I'm going to visit family, and it's a 3.5 hour trip. So I'll get to listen to at least 6 hours of audiobook, and then while I'm there, I just plan on reading the whole time.
But that cozy mystery is new. That's outside your genre.
Yeah, I read a couple of them, and they're just really sweet, like really sweet little mystery books.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just sweet and cozy. It's like a palate cleanser.
Yeah, they're feel-good books, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So how do you said that you sign up for blog tours or book tours.
Mhm.
So do you sign up or do authors come to you now because of your reputation on Bookstagram?
Um, no, I do get authors that reach out and ask to read. I think that they do that in general on Instagram, which I think is so awesome. Um, and there's a couple of people that I have read for, like Ember Nicole. She had mentioned, she had a new book at the beginning of the year, December or the end of December, and she wanted to know if I wanted to read it. And I was like, sign me up. I want a dark romance. Yes. I fell in love with her writing. And as soon as I heard that she had a second book coming out, I was all over it. I was like, you better not forget me. And oh yeah, somebody's reading Word D. Yeah, I absolutely loved her books, and she's the sweetest because I wrote her and I was like, what do I have to do to get an autographed copy of your book?
Wow.
And she was like, I got you. And she mailed me both of her books, and they were signed and personalized to me, and I bawled like a baby,
Oh,
completely
that's
bawled.
sweet.
Yeah, she's awesome.
I mean, that's such a great compliment to a writer, an author, is when someone wants to read your stuff and they're asking for the next book and the next book. I mean, oh my gosh, what a compliment.
Well, I think it's really cool on Book Talk and like Bookstagram, you really get to interact with authors.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of indie authors, um, you know, there's just a lot of conversation, a lot of like, tell me what you like, and here's my book, and um, I I just love the interaction because you feel like you matter as a person, as a reader, and that your reviews matter. Um, I just think it's awesome.
I completely agree with you. The sense of community is wonderful. And so you can reach out to most anybody, ask for help, get opinions. I kind of did a little informal, poll advice to, I guess there's about 8 readers that have read my series. And I'm like, hey, this is kind of the direction I want to go. What do you think? And so I got all sorts of feedback. And it is, beyond the beta, because I do have like 3 amazing beta. One is just cruel, brutal, and I love her because she's like, ah. And then I have one who's really like my hype girl, so she needs to move out of beta status because she's like, oh my God, I love it all. But it is wonderful when you can connect with readers and be like, how does this land with you? Let me run an idea behind you or a plot idea, or what do you see as, something that's like taboo or I should stay away from. It's awesome.
Love Taboo.
You're like, there's no such thing as taboo.
Yes, give it all to me. Well, that's really cool. Once let me ask you a question. Once you get a hold of a beta reader, do you not want to give those people up? I mean, do you feel really connected to those people because they give you like their honest feedback and they give you ideas and bounce stuff off of you and stuff like that? I mean, do you kind of like keep them
I
close?
do. They're my friends. It's so interesting because I've said this when I was talking to another author. Okay, so I have my sister and my 2 nieces are teachers, English teachers. Do you think I can get any of them to edit my stuff, beta my stuff? I was like, I will even pay you guys. Summer break is coming up. So you get sometimes more support with betas and people, yeah, beta readers are gold, Meg says. But you get support sometimes better among strangers. And some people end up loving your characters so much and they're so deep in the story with you. You're like, oh my gosh, this is exactly where I wanted. Like, welcome to this world I created.
Oh my
I need help.
gosh, that's exciting.
What should I do with
That's
this
so cool.
character?
That's awesome. I've only done beta reading for one book, and that was for Willa Drew. They have cute little novellas, and I've beta read this last one that's about to come out in an arc, and it was an exciting experience, and just to feel like you're so involved in the process is really cool.
Well, you could beta for me, but it sounds like you're super busy.
Well, I won't be in July.
I know. That's when I'm supposed to. Yeah, that might work out because
Oh.
I know. Mm. Okay, Starlight says it sounds funny, but you know what I mean. She needs to find the stranger betas.
Oh.
I think what she's meaning, because Starlight, aren't you fantasy, sci-fi, and are you horror? I can't remember. So tell us in the comments. Meg asked if you will beta anthologies.
Which
Meg, are
one?
you talking because we have that anthology coming up?
Oh.
Starlight
Ooh,
says
supernatural fantasy.
Ah.
Oh, so like witches, vampires type supernatural fantasy?
Starlight, is that hard magic or soft magic? Meg says, yup.
Oh. When is that coming out?
I think our deadline is what, October 15th, Meg? Because we're publishing, maybe it's even earlier than that. Meg's the ringleader of our group because, God, Lord knows, I don't know how she can do it all. She keeps up with all of us. Yeah, so no, I have an idea that my books tend to be more like thought-provoking. And so I asked these betas, I said, you know, hey, I'm looking to do just a smutty book, like a smutty series, a novella, just for fun. It's going to be like, not insta-love, because it's not love, maybe like insta-lust or something.
Oh, that's just
And
fun.
I know, right? Because I've had like moms at the baseball field, or I had my neighbor, I was walking with my daughter, and she said, hey, I read your book, but I need a little bit more, you know, sex scenes. And I was like, okay. So that's when I reached out to my betas and I said, hey, I'm thinking about just doing like a down and dirty series, all novellas. So what do you think? And so I got a lot of feedback, but it does range. It does range. Some want, you know, like 250 pages. Some want 80 pages. I was like, okay, you know, some want really deep smut. Some don't. Some want a little bit of romance.
See, that is hard for me because, like, I've read books that had absolutely no plot. It was just little something sprinkled in between sex scenes.
Yes.
And I was like, those are the ones that make me blush, where I'm just like, ooh, I can't believe I'm listening to this out loud, or I can't believe I'm reading this at
Yeah.
work. And then there's some that are kind of like a really good plot, but just have lots of sex. So are you going to do like a plot or no plot, just sex?
There'll be a little bit of plot, but not much. You know, my main series has a ton of plot. It's, you know, trauma. There's triggers galore. With romance, you know, obviously romance and sex part of it, but they're more like a relationship couple, you know, like, oh my God, let's be together forever.
Yeah.
But this series is like boy toys.
All right. A little bit of hate sex.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, and
Yeah.
that's the thing, like, you know, can I have the duality? Like, you know, when you go on a dating app, there's some people that want, you know, boy toys, they want friends with benefits, some people want relationships, some people want marriage. So like the hierarchy of a relation, of a what people want. And so I was like, I wonder if I could do kind of a hierarchy within romance. So
I'm
yeah,
down to read that.
this little
Yes.
side series is just going to be smut fest. So
Oh, oh, you'll have people.
yeah,
You'll have people want to read that.
my
Yeah.
married ladies that are like, there's no romance. I just need down and dirty. So that way, whatever I read, I'm going to go and take out on the guy that I am married to. I'm like, cool.
Oh, yeah.
Do that.
Yes.
So Starlight said, yes, Fae animal shifters in all real world settings contemporary.
Cool.
So
That's awesome.
it would be Starlight. So it'd be like set in today's times, all the technology that we have today, um, but just humans and other creatures, I assume. Yeah. So what is okay, you had mentioned Nicole. What do you like about her writing style, or when you pick up all these books, because you are a voracious reader, do you ever have a style that it doesn't resonate, you got to put it down? So what writing style do you love? What do you not like?
So I hate stuff like miscommunication. It annoys me. I can't read like a miscommunication trope. It makes me mad. um, I will put it down.
Okay, explain
I
what
just,
that means.
just like a simple conversation between two people. This whole like high school, like, just not communicating the right way, like freaking adults. It drives me insane. I think that's kind of why I stay away from some of the YA stuff, although I'm starting to tip my toe into it a little bit, more with like the River of Ash and the River of Wrath. Those were pretty dark and I liked them. But yeah, and I'm not one for like accidental pregnancies either. I'm just like meh. But it doesn't upset me like miscommunication.
So accidental pregnancies or surprise pregnancies, I was educated that this is a trigger for a lot of women. And I did not know that. Now mine don't tend to be meet cute. Mine are always dark. So I doubt I'll ever have a surprise pregnancy, never say never. But I thought that was really interesting and for me to be aware that that is a trigger for a lot of women.
See, it's really weird because I'll read something like a monster romance that has breeding, but there's no pregnancy with the breeding. So it's really weird. I like the breeding, but I don't like the pregnancy. So
Oh yeah, there was one I read, and oh gosh, the name slips me, but it's like it's an Omega verse. I'm probably gonna get this wrong. Omega verse when they not.
oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
I had never heard that. Like obviously I've had dogs, so I know what that is, but I was like, I didn't know we're writing this stuff.
Yeah. The first one I read, who is it by?
I know the name escapes me.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, my dogs are going crazy. Trying to think. I forgot her name now, but she writes all monster romance, and I eat it up. Like I love it. She has one that is like a kraken, one that is like a sea monster, one that's like a half snake, half guy, and that one is weird because he has like a pocket, and I was like, what with this anatomy? So, but I ate them up. Yeah, and my boyfriend picked on me. He was like, you like monster porn. You like weird, weird stuff. I was like, that's because he has two. Why have one when you could have two? So, yeah.
Well, no, there is, it's so interesting because when you start to go into the world of romance, I mean, oh my gosh, it's just going down a rabbit hole to what you like. And I did read a book about wait, no, I'm getting it wrong, a merman. And
Oh.
she writes, I mean, I can't, again, all these authors are slipping my mind, but they all are merman, like she must have like 10 in the series of merman. And I find
Oh, okay.
that fascinating because I'm like, one, it's hella creative. And then two, how do you have different storylines that are so unique that you can have 12 of them? And they're not novellas. They're like literally, 80 to 90,000 words.
Jeez.
I know, mad respect.
Yeah, I need to go to that side of romance more. Yeah.
Okay, Starlight said hers are supernatural races alongside humans. That's what her contemporary is. I don't know. So if we know any like strange betas for her.
I'm sure there's people that would love to beta.
Well, how much do you interact with other bookstagrammers in the sense that do you guys say, hey, I'm looking for, a group, I'm looking for an author, I'm looking for more books, or is it just who you happen to come across because you're reading like the same book or the same genre?
Like I'm part of one book tour company,
Mm-hmm.
and they are always dropping little like links to authors' Instagrams when they're calling out for beta readers or ARC readers. They're constantly posting in Discord any author that they've come across that they either worked with before or they really enjoy. They post it in Discord, and people are like running to sign up for these ARCs.
Is that something you feel comfortable sharing who that is in Discord or no?
So the tour group is, I think it's called was it Bound with Mischief or something? I've only read um like one thing for them yet because I'm so booked with other stuff that I'm doing. I did sign up for one next month, so I'm super pumped for that. But they're just the girl who runs it, her name is Sam. I mean, the people in that group are just outstanding. They're super nice. They're always communicating. They're always uplifting each other. They have authors that come and talk on their Discord. There's just a really great environment and a lot of great people. And they also have a little area that you go in and they post any kind of books that are on sale or free on Amazon and stuff like that. And it's a great community.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is that where you then hang out and interact with other bookstagrammers?
I spend a lot of time on my two book club groups because it's more than just books. They're like family there. They like we talk about their kids. I don't have kids, but they talk about their kids. I talk about my dogs. And
They are your kids.
they are my
Mm-hmm.
kids, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. They give me gray hair. Yeah.
What kind of pups do you have?
I have a year and a half old greyhound named Laszlo. I have as of yesterday, a 1-year-old pity puppy named Willow. And I have a foster dog who is a staghound, which is a greyhound, Scottish deerhound mix, who is, I think he's 8 or 9 months old now. And he is from a Texas Greyhound rescue.
Yeah.
And I've been fostering him since October.
Oh my gosh. Is
Yeah.
he, so how do you line up your, I guess, potential adoptees?
So the organization is doing that. I just take care of him and try not to kill him because he
But
is
why
a
has he been with
handful.
you? Why has he been with you so long?
Um,
Is he a
I
big
think
dog?
he is a big dog. I think it's standard practice for them to keep them until they're at least 6 months old before they fix them, neuter them.
Yeah.
So I had him at least, let's see, from October to February before he got fixed. And now it's just trying to find the right adopter.
Oh
He
yeah.
also has seizures. So
Oh,
he's a special needs dog. He hasn't had a seizure since January because he's on meds. But still, that's just another thing that people don't want to take on.
yeah. I understand. I had a blind bulldog, a deaf bulldog, and then my chocolate lab ended up having Alzheimer's,
Oh,
and I had them all at the same time.
oh my gosh.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
And so you got a new pitty as of yesterday. Does that mean you're a new foster or are you a foster fail?
Oh no, she's a rescue. She turned a year old yesterday. Sorry.
That's sweet.
Yeah, I rescued her from the Oklahoma Humane Society.
Oh my gosh, you're like doing all this stuff. You have such variety in your life.
Yeah.
Where do you get the energy from?
Vyvanse. Yeah, no. Meds.
You're like uppers.
First, yeah.
Um, so do you post all your content on your Instagram or do you post it other places? Do you have like a book blog website, that kind of thing?
I actually went out and I bought like the web address name or the website and the membership and all of that. And one night I was just like super excited and I was like, I'm gonna have my own website and I'm gonna post perfume reviews and um book reviews and I'm just gonna get all my friends to get on it, and then I never made the website. Like I never created the layout or anything for it. So I have a name for a year. I haven't gotten around to do it.
Well,
But like I'm
it's hard to
afraid to oh go ahead.
no, it's hard to stay motivated. That was what I was going to
It
ask you. Is like, how do you've been doing this since October? That's a really long time. How do you stay motivated? I know you said like you're going to kind of take a, I would hate to say the word break in July, but you're going to like cut back.
Yeah, just the number of books that I'm reading, I'm just gonna try to cut back. Oh, I got in so deep with like engagement groups and like commenting pods and like I featured you, like I'm still featuring
Mhm.
you
Thank you.
as my Meet the Author series. I do Meet the Author and I do Meet the Bookstagrammer.
Yeah, love
And
that.
I was doing, thank you. And I mean, I don't have that many followers. I have 6,000 followers. And
That's a lot.
well, it's
Yes.
more, yeah,
Hold on right
it's a
there.
decent.
That's what you need to
It's a good
do.
number. Well, it's a good amount, but I just wanted, I'm really big on uplifting other people. I want to showcase other people. If I have this many followers, I want to get this person that has maybe 400 followers. I want to find her friends. Or, there's an author that has only, just now having their debut book. I want to, highlight this author. And um, I don't know, I want to share that with other people. But I just got so deep into all these groups and stuff, and these like groups. It took took me 2 hours every night to do my required likes.
Yeah.
And I was just, that's just so much. And I really started taking steps backwards when I got into Instagel because I was doing too many likes a day,
Yeah.
and I was locked out for 7 days. And I realized how much time I was spending on Instagram when I was forced to really step back. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm spending way too much time.
Yeah.
So I've been kind of like, I'm cutting back to doing one feature Bookstagrammer a week and still doing the author. And I cut back on my engagement groups. But I ramp up for the author and the Bookstagrammer. I make sure I post in comment groups and engagement groups just so they get attention. But like my book reviews, I don't know. You can read it if you want to. You can like it if you want to. Yeah.
You know, that's sweet as can be, though, that you are out there doing the engagement because you want to. You want to uplift other people. It's why I like to do the Let's Go Live, because there's really not, okay, so there are plenty of people that interview people out there, but you have to be like this level and above, right? We all watch the morning shows. We'll have Dean Koontz doesn't do interviews anymore, but you'll have like James Patterson or some of these big names. You know you're never going to get there. A bookstagrammer's never going to get there. An author's never going to get there. And that's why I like to just connect with other authors or other bookstagrammers, because it is fascinating. People's story, their journey, what they do, how they do it, their creativity. It is so fascinating. And we just help each other along the way.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I watched some of your videos. I was like, what is she going to ask me? So I watched some of your videos, and I thought it was really awesome that you do this.
I got a fresh set of questions for you, Missy.
Oh
No,
no.
but I love it because I don't, let's see, I started doing it last year. It was under Books and Baking with my sister. I kind of rebranded it to Let's Go Live. I've had some technical issues, which has been unfortunate with some of the authors, but I think after talking to a producer at iHeartRadio, he got me all set up to fix my technical issues. But I mean, I just love it. There's so many great people out there. They have so much information. What they're doing is so cool. Like you. I looked at your wall. It is so diverse between the, the Meet the series that you have going on and the book reviews and the perfume. I was like, this is really unique, and I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's true. So that's why I was like, how does this girl keep this up? Because this seems like a lot of work. And
Yeah.
like you said, burnout does get real.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So do you go to any kind of like BookCon or other like book festivals?
I have not yet. I would love to. I would love to meet authors and get books signed and get merch and stuff like that. I'm still new to reading. So, like, these authors that people have been following for years, they're new to me.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm just discovering people left and right. And like I just read Book Lovers for the first time a couple of months ago, like Emily Henry, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this author's fantastic. And now I have like 3 of her books, and I just read Mile High, and that was great. And I'm just, I'm still discovering. It's like a whole new world for me.
Isn't that exciting? It's like the tip of the iceberg. And so like you have so much more to learn, so much more to discover and experience. That's really exciting.
It is. It's a little overwhelming because you have so many books that you want to read that, you see people talking about. You're like, I need to add that to my TBR. I need to add that to my TBR. Add it. And now I have a TBR that is several hundred books that I need to read. And I'm like, oh, it's overwhelming.
It is. When you go to a book conference or book, BookCon, book convention, that is overwhelming. Like, oh my gosh, it's just chaos. I mean, organized chaos, but it's just like so much going around, and there's like collecting pins and this line, and you'll be in line for hours. I mean, it's just like, woo. I went with my sister. It is overwhelming. She's like, we should go to BookCon or one of the ones in New York. I was like, you're crazy.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I've always wanted to go to like Comic-Con,
Oh, yeah.
but I would imagine book lovers having the same kind of crazy stuff happening at theirs
Oh,
too.
high energy. I mean, like, I don't have anxiety, but woo, I got it there. I'm like, okay, there's a lot of people here, and where do we stand? I mean, yeah,
Wow.
I know.
I would love to go. I have not gone yet.
So forward thinking, obviously, that's one of your goals is to go to
Mhm.
to one of those. What else do you want to achieve? Like when you come up on your 1 year anniversary in October, what do you want to have done? You already have a significant amount already done. What's left?
I don't know. I just I just want to keep doing stuff that makes me happy.
Yeah.
If it doesn't make me happy anymore, then I'll stop. I won't do it. If it becomes work, then I don't want to do that. I already have a full-time job that I get paid for. I don't want to do work for something that doesn't give me warm fuzzies anymore. So as long as this continues to make me happy, then I'll keep doing it. I don't have any goals. You know, I would love to have lots of followers and stuff like that because the more people that I reach, the more people that I can, you know, introduce to the world. But I don't I don't have a goal. I'm happy doing what I'm doing with my perfume and my books. I mean, I have had people kind of like turn their back to me because I do content other than books,
Uh-huh.
and um, I would love to get more into the perfume side, but those people I haven't got into their community yet. And I don't want to upset any book people by posting too much perfume content.
Do you think that's possible? Are you talking about like maybe brands, getting in with brands?
No, just like, I mean, I would love to get free stuff. That would be awesome. But I'm not well known enough in the perfume community to do that. I don't have enough perfume
Oh,
cred. Yeah,
okay. Ah.
yeah. But I love perfume. I love it. Like, here is my samples,
Oh,
and
wow.
that is like just the stuff that I've tested over the last 3 weeks.
Excuse me. Hey, Bentley. He was supposed to be asleep, or he was asleep. That's a lot.
Yeah,
But don't
I
you look at
just
that
love
and it
it.
just makes you happy?
It does. It makes me happy.
Oh man, I think that sometimes that's the goal in and of itself, right? You found a hobby that has pulled you kind of out of that slump that you were in last year. It makes you happy. It's something you can share with your boyfriend. He sounds totally cute. Just kidding with you.
Yeah, I'll keep
You know,
them.
he's a keeper. But it just seems really like all this has put you on a wonderful trajectory, and it's just going to go better and better from here.
It's done wonders for my mental health. I mean, it gives me something to focus on other than being in my head
Mhm.
and thinking negative thoughts. And it's something that's positive in my life, and I'm gonna hold on to it in a little death grip. So
No, negative self-talk is just so real. Ooh, it is damaging too. And
it is ugly.
we wouldn't, if you were to like, there was an exercise, I can't remember what class in college I had, But they were saying, write down everything you say for a day to yourself, write it down, notes app, you name it. And so when you read over that, it is horrible. You would not say that to your worst enemy, but yet we say it to
Yeah.
ourselves on repeat.
Oh, yeah. It's really ugly. And yeah. So, I have a therapist that she's working on me with that exact same thing because I say really, really ugly stuff to myself all the time. And it's just, it happens. And I'm just trying to do other things to make me happy and try to refocus my thought process.
I mean, it's hard to rewire, but
Hmm.
I'm, glad to hear that you're working with someone
Hmm.
about it, because I think if we were just to rewire some of that, you see, like, I've been through, or I survived, or this happened to me, and look, I came out on the other side. If we would just give ourselves credit for being strong warriors, for surviving whatever it is, but we don't. We take the
No,
opposite, and you should be like, yeah, thank you for making my life hell, but now look at me now, I'm stronger.
that's true.
Like, hell and I survived. So like the next one isn't going to be hell. Maybe it'll be like hell light, like
Hell
Dante's
life.
Inferno, like the levels of hell. It won't be like all. Okay, if you still have a few moments, I like to do rapid fire because those are always fun.
Okay.
All right. Okay, ebook or physical book,
Oh, I
or
really love a
audio
physical
for
book.
you?
Oh, audiobook. Audiobook is my first choice. Physical book is my second, and then ebook.
I like that 1, 2, 3 order.
Yeah.
Favorite reading spot?
Uh, on my couch in front of the window with my pillow pal and my blanket and a dog.
And that boyfriend somewhere in the background listening.
Yeah, he's doing something over there. He's always around,
But he's
but
listening too, and then he says, "What are you listening to?"
yes, yes.
Favorite book to movie adaptation?
Um, so my favorite book to movie is Practical Magic. Practical Magic is my all-time favorite movie.
No
When I
way.
read the book, I was so disappointed.
What? Oh, okay. So what's the difference? I think that's such a cute movie. I love it. It's like
Yeah,
every Halloween we have to watch it.
I that is my all-time. I love witchy books. I love witchy books. And when I found out that Practical Magic was actually from a book, I went out and bought the entire series. And when I read the book, the movie is so different than the book. I was like, oh, my heart is broken.
It's a series?
Yeah.
How many books?
Uh, I want to say like three, four. I think there's four.
And they make up the whole movie?
Um, no, one is um the one is about like Sally and Jilly, and then there's I think one about the aunties, and
Mm-hmm.
then the like it goes way back in time, so it
Oh
spreads
yeah.
over.
To the very first Auntie's Witches, right? Because that's how the movie opens.
Well, yeah, but it's just the book is just so different than the movie. I was disappointed. So,
Okay. Standalones or series?
so I am such a mood reader that I like standalones, but I am like on book 8 of the Zodiac Academy. So
Wow.
that's the only series that I have gotten that far in.
Okay. Favorite book boyfriend, favorite protagonist, and favorite villain?
Uh, I don't have favorites yet. Like I don't feel like I've had enough experience. Like I'm still like a little newbie just fishing around. Like, oh, I
Girl, how
love,
many books have you read since October? You have like a ton. You're like, they're all my favorite. They're all my children. Don't ask me to pick.
well, this year I think I'm at like 68 books.
That's a lot.
Um, yeah, but there's nobody that like totally like latches onto my heart.
Hmm.
I feel like once I'm finished with the book, I'm on to a new relationship.
You're like, we are so over, like Taylor Swift.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't have a favorite. I like them at that time, but when I move on to the next book, I'm like, oh yeah,
They're dead.
oh yeah, yeah.
Do you have a favorite opening line or dedication from a book?
Not anything that sticks. I have such a horrible memory that there's a couple of lines that I actually took pictures of with my phone in a book by Una Grace. It was her debut book um, during the holidays. It's called Santa's Broken Toy or something like that.
Hmm.
And it it just moved me to the to the point to where I was like, I have to like take a picture of this to remember it. It's somewhere on my phone now. But like I'm in a book group right now where it's called like the Yaya Traveling Book. And there's 5 of us, and each of us bought a book, and we mailed it to the next person. And the first book I have over here is my first attempt at annotating.
Oh, yeah.
So that was scary. I've
That's such a
never like
cute
written
idea.
in a book.
Right? Y'all, say it again. What is it?
It's like, the Yaya Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Yep.
This is like the traveling book. And each of us choose a book and we send it to the next person on the list. And as we read, we just keep mailing the books. And finally, the book is going to find its way back to you, but it's going to be all annotated by the other 4 people in the group.
That is such a cool idea. I would
Oh,
love that.
yeah, I'm super pumped. The book that I chose, I think it was Blindsided by Amy Dawes. It's like a rugby footballer, and she's a plus size girl. Hello, plus size rep. We need more plus size rep.
For sure.
And and I read that book last year when I started reading again, and I absolutely love it. So I wanted the other girls to read it. So I chose that book.
Okay, so how do you annotate? Are there rules? Because annotation is very personal, right? And
I
are there
yeah.
rules within your traveling group, or is it however you want to annotate when you have the book is up to you?
So we each chose a color, and I chose blue, and we said that we would do tabs, and inside, let me find one. Like one of the lines in this book that really resonated with me, it says, "Some people call it guilty pleasure reads, but why should I feel guilt over wanting to escape somewhere else, even for a little while?" So, and then we just highlight, and I also like write in the margins when something is like going on, and I'm like, what? What is going on? Like, what? So, yeah. Um, this is going to be mailed to a girl named Jordan when she finishes her, and we all are ready to ship them off to the next person. But, like, in the front, we put our name and our color. And our rules are that we won't break the spine.
Yep.
And we don't dog ear, and we keep the pages nice and like
Not bumped.
not bumped. Yeah. So we try to respect the book.
That is such a cool idea. I love it.
Yeah, it's
Because,
exciting.
my daughter has to annotate for school, and so she is a master. Whoa. You know how you have the color tabs? There's, there's the common ones. I can't think of. You can just order on Amazon. They have like the rainbow of colors,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
she gets the aesthetically like the not the rainbow necessarily, but by the time she'll do like all the greens, so it looks like like flat. Yes, yes. She has the one for like the color of plants, all different. And so when she annotates and she does it all in the whole book, one she has to do like a rubber band, so she does break the spines. She does a rubber band to close it, but it
Oh
is
my God.
so pretty, and it just shows how much she was engrossed in the book. I love when people annotate. I don't have the patience for it. I get on my own nerves, but that's super cool.
I would love to read someone's annotated book.
Yeah.
I think that would be such an adventure in itself. I know a lot of people are against annotating, and I understand that because, you're writing in a book and everything, but
It's your
just to
book.
see, yeah, but just to see what they're feeling at that moment when they read that passage, I think it would be awesome.
Well, there's Wattpad has all
Mhm.
those free books, that usually are not published. And so when you're reading, have you ever been in Wattpad before?
I haven't, no. Mm-mm.
What's cool though is it's similar to annotating because, as you have it in the reader, people can hit and make a comment. And so you can go and look at all the comments that people have had for that section. And sometimes, like, if you don't understand what the author's trying to communicate, you go out there and someone's like, oh, that was, especially when you get into fantasy and maybe you missed the Easter egg, you can go to the comments and they'll explain all the Easter eggs, and you're like, I get it.
Oh, that is
It's
awesome.
cool. I know a lot of people have strong opinions about Wattpad, but I like that feature. That's really neat.
Oh, I will have is it an app
It is that.
then? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have
Pick
to
it
check it
up,
out.
free books.
Okay.
Okay, so our rapid fire is not so rapid.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, but I love it. I love it. Okay, where am I at here? Oh, most overrated book in your opinion. And if you don't feel comfortable saying, that's okay.
I have an overrated author that I refuse to read just because there's so much hype. But I did read Akatar, that first book, and I was like, there's so much buildup, and I was like, I don't I don't get it. So I feel like I missed something. Like maybe it gets better as it goes, but like that first book, I'm like that's like a 4 to me. I just maybe the other ones get better, but I'm in no rush to read it because I was just like me.
I've read her series. Actually, I've read both. And so I haven't finished, was it Court of Thorns and Roses? I finished that one and the other one. Oh, it escapes me now. Like the Air of Fire, I think is where I'm at with that. But because I read 3 different books at a time, she names things like she'll name objects and give them proper names. So like Curse Breaker, I'm like, who's Curse Breaker? I don't know what's Curse. Was that a new character? But that's not. That could be like the name of a blade or the name of a sword. And I'm just like, so I'm the worst at reading her books. I like them, but I can't always keep up. And the Easter eggs, because I don't read them consistently enough. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but she does. I mean, she's the master, like the queen of high fantasy, for sure.
Yeah, I think I just dove in too far too fast. I think I need like a baby fantasy maybe to like try out before. Yeah.
Well, there's an author that I interviewed last week, Lena Ravenhill, and she has a book out, that one that's coming out, and she's looking for arcs. I know you're super busy. I know you got arcs coming out of your ears, but I just reposted on my stories her call for arcs.
I'll have to look.
Yeah.
I'm so slammed through June.
She uses
Okay.
AI to create her covers and to also do her graphics. It's stunning. Her work is stunning.
See, I love me some good cover art.
Yeah. Her covers like speak to you. Yeah, they're good. So look at my stories and you'll see that arc on there if you're interested.
Okay.
Okay. What's the last book that made you cry?
I cried in Book Lovers, but
Did you? Okay,
yeah, I thought it was just what part? I just, when she was going to be separated from her sister and her sister was gonna live in a different city and stuff like that, it caught me. It was a lot of emotion and it caught me. But I think I'm probably gonna cry in A Thousand Boy Kisses because it's just a sad book. It's like she's dying of cancer, and I'm like, this is gonna end poorly. So I know I'm gonna cry. And it's an audiobook, so it's like dual narrated. So I'm like, okay, they're gonna make me cry.
I liked Book Lovers, but the only thing I didn't understand is she went on, she's supposed to be this like really tough, publicist, I think, editor, something like that. And she kept going on about her mom and memories of her mom in New York about her mom and her mom. And I was like, what's this? It just was too much about her mom for being this like super tough career woman, like a bad bitch.
Yeah, she was squishy. Yeah. She was definitely squishy.
I know. So I was like, that mom business was just it went on too long for me. I was like, yeah, we get it, okay? See, I shouldn't say that because someone will come at me like, how Okay. Do you prefer to read, one book at a time or multiple books at a time?
Multiple books at a time. I'm reading at least 3 books at a time.
Different genres or in the same genre even?
Usually, well, I did have like a fantasy book and a romance or 2 romance books. So right now is romance. Yeah, I think they're all romance.
And you don't get the storylines mixed up? Good for you. I do. Shoot, I'll be like, wasn't she? Oh, wait, that's the other one. Yeah, I can't. They have to be different genres. Okay, last question. Which book character would you want to be your best friend?
I loved the characters in Mile High. I love like Stevie and Z.
Yeah.
I think they would be the coolest people to hang out with. And that was just a recent read for me, so they're still fresh in my head. Mm-hmm. And like Indy, I know the next book is about her brother and her best friend. So I mean it's like right there on my shelf. I just haven't had the chance to read it yet. But I really enjoyed that book, and I think that they're just like, the author just made them like really relatable, mm-hmm. like people that you could just see yourself hanging out with. So, yeah.
Well, that is all I have. It has been a pleasure getting to know you. It's been like a fast hour, 20 minutes. So I would love. Oh my gosh! I know, right? That's when you know you're with your people. You're like, because it goes by so fast, and it doesn't even seem like it.
Well, I've had a lot of fun. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for being on. And so we'll have to do this again after you get past your July.
Yes.
Catch up, get your arcs done, and then you have your July me time.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm very much looking forward to the me time.
And over summer, that's great. So yeah, I'm going to post this and then I will tag you in it as collaborator, and then you can do with it what you want as well.
Thank you.
So
Thank you
nice
so
to meet
much for inviting me.
you. Thank
It was
you.
very nice meeting you.
Bye.
Bye.